Hey everybody, and welcome to an aggressive wild ride with Steve-O. One would say it is aggressive to come out and call Arron Rodgers and Katt Williams losers. But let me submit, we're not actually saying they're losers. It turns out only one of them is a loser. So we'll get into that. But we've got a pretty major special guest on the podcast. It is the very woman who Skinny Vinny is going to marry this weekend. And we asked her if she thinks Arron Rodgers is attractive. And that is probably the only not controversial question that we asked her. It gets crazy. And also the bucket list winner. I put it out there on my socials that I want to fulfill somebody's bucket list wish. And this one guy is dying of cancer. He wanted to be on the Wild Ride podcast, and he had a special mission that he's on, and we helped him to further that goal. And that's a touching and meaningful last chapter to this very aggressive Wild Ride with Steve-O. So strap on your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, people of the universe, I bring to you me.
And Scott Randolph.
And Skinny Vinny.
Yeah,
What's going on, guys?
Well, we've got a special guest in the van.
We sure do.
It's Vinny's fiance, Autumn.
Hi.
And this is important because Vinny is getting married this weekend.
This coming Monday.
And
Are you nervous?
I'm not.
Are you nervous, Autumn?
I'm a little bit, mainly for the ceremony. Unlike him, I don't like being the center of attention. I don't like people just staring at me. But I'm excited for like the reception and everything. And
all right.
yeah. But
What about spending the rest of your life with this?
Well, we will get to that. But Autumn, are you aware of the Arron Rodgers versus Jimmy Kimmel situation?
I've been hearing about it, but I don't know that much. But I've seen it everywhere.
Okay,
Just haven't
well,
looked into it.
to distill it down to its little in a nutshell, Arron Rodgers insinuated that Jimmy Kimmel is on Jeffrey Epstein's list and as such is some kind of a predator of children. And
Okay.
Jimmy Kimmel was none too pleased about that. Fired off on
Yeah.
Arron Rodgers, like devoted his entire opening monologue on the Kimmel show
Mhm.
to just destroying Arron Rodgers. And Arron Rodgers since is no longer welcome on the Pat McAfee show.
Well, only a certain, not the whole list came out, right? It was just.
I mean,
No,
it was
the
just
whole
portions.
list came out, but Arron Rodgers responded, and he's like, "Let me clarify what I
He's
meant."
Like, yeah, Arron Rodgers responded basically saying, "Let me not apologize whatsoever," and like try to like get some digs in, and like I mean, it's just a big catastrophic L from the way I see it.
Mhm.
So our question at the moment is, who took the bigger L? Who's the bigger loser of the week? Arron Rodgers or Katt Williams?
But why would you even think that Katt Williams took an L?
Well, I mean, this is the...
What did he do? What did he do that you didn't like?
I mean, hey, he didn't do anything I didn't like. I'm just saying that he attacked everybody under the sun, it seems like. He set about trying to burn every bridge he possibly could. I mean, dude, I just went through a list.
But he
of,
said
like,
he's like, I have the receipts, and everybody
he
that he
has the
talks
receipts for saying that Harvey Weinstein offered to
Suck his-
his D like,
Yeah.
in front of a bunch of people. Like, he said a lot of things that actually there are no receipts for.
Well, nobody has refuted anything that he had to say. So, like, people did respond to Katt, but they never denied what he was saying.
Tiffany Haddish categorically denied.
Well,
She refuted everything that he said about her.
well, didn't he say that, like, the people that are involved with the inner circle, their only job is to refute everything that is claimed against them towards, like, the Illuminati? You didn't hear him say that?
Okay, so now we've got receipts for the Illuminati. Huh?
Well, I mean, that's what he's saying, but nobody has said anything different.
I mean, here's the thing. I think that he slung a lot of mud. Tried to burn a lot of bridges, and he definitely got a lot of news. I mean, we like the most compelling thing we could think of to start the podcast is
Yeah.
the story about him. Like, so you'd think that it was a huge W.
But why do you think he goes on this huge platform and just starts bashing everybody? Do you think there's a little bitterness between like
I think
everybody?
there's a lot of bitterness.
A lot of bitterness.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, 100%. There's bitterness with Kevin Hart
Mm-hmm.
and Tiffany Haddish. I forget what the origin of that was, but
Now, as far as career goes, do you think Tiffany Haddish is more successful than Katt Williams? I don't know, man. Katt Williams is...
here's the thing, dude. Tiffany Haddish went from like not a like big celebrity to a bona fide like A-list movie star, and then she got tangled up in some kind of accusations and like some kind of a lawsuit situation with who Ari Spears was it.
Mm-hmm.
And that really, really hurt her.
Mhm.
And then since
plus she
then,
had a
she's
bunch of
had
DUIs
multiple
too, right?
DUIs.
Really?
Not a
Yeah.
bunch. She got 2,
Okay.
but still, like when you get a second DUI, like it's. So I think that. I mean,
Okay.
I love Tiffany Haddish. I love her, but I think that like objectively, like from a career standpoint, she like, was,
She had a quicker come up.
no, she's been doing stand up since she was like a teenager.
Yeah.
And then she came up like, whatever, like a few years ago. It's
Mhm.
like more than a few years ago, but yeah, she came up a little like after many years of doing stand up, came up humongously,
Yeah.
Mhm.
meteoric, but straight to the boom, like.
Well, so what do you think's going to happen to Katt after this? I mean, he's going to be doing larger shows because his popularity grew, and Rogan just invited him to go on.
Right. I mean,
he just blew himself up, and this is a new podcast, and I think it got like 2 million views, 2 million subscribers overnight.
oh my God, dude, that episode.
41 million views in 7 days.
Okay, but
How much money is
how
that
many-
on AdSense?
Okay, so that's literally just the Katt Williams episode has 41 million views in 7 days. Jesus.
Wow.
What's the AdSense revenue on that at like $5
I mean, if
per
he's
thousand?
if he's got mid rolls built in, I mean, it's.
Every million views, he's getting $5,000.
I think it's probably more like every million views you get 1,000.
Oh, that's $1
Still,
CPM.
still, that's 40,000. But if he's got mid rolls, then he's in the 6 figures.
I read something this morning that he got $250,000 just off of AdSense for this.
I wouldn't be surprised. And I say that because he's like AdSense is based on how ad friendly you are. That's why like my main YouTube channel is very low on the CPMs, which is the how much you get per 1,000 views. Like I'm edgy.
And Roman Atwood's is through the roof because he's kid friendly.
Right. It's family friendly. So I think that
So you think he took an L?
I mean, I don't. Maybe you know what? Maybe I'm converted. Maybe you're right.
Because
and
like,
especially because with all of Katt Williams' history of just being arrested, like time again, like violence. I think he's had like guns, like crazy one thing after another. He was just like constantly in trouble and doing very well in his career despite that fact. So
do you think him doing something like this gets him blackballed from doing like major motion pictures?
he said he's been in 60 movies according to IMDb. It checks out. I mean, he pays people out of his own pocket. He's adopted 7 kids. I mean, there's
adopted 7 kids.
Yeah, he's got 7 kids adopted. I mean, the amount of stories that came out on him on like, yeah, dude, like I was struggling and like, dude, somebody came up and handed me like a t-shirt wrapped up and he's like a front row at his seat and there was like a struggling comedian and he's like, oh, I thought it was just a bunch of weed. And he's like, it came back, it was 15 grand. Richie Redding has nothing but good things to say about him.
Yeah.
I mean, he said he bought a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, put 75 grand in for some singer that he's like, during that time, like, she got hated on because of the color of her skin. He's like, he brought her the star. I mean,
he's a bona fide lunatic. Being a bona fide lunatic can either be a good thing or a bad thing. But it is a very bad thing when you are a lunatic by choosing to wear clothing that damages the environment, that's made in factories, that treats people poorly, and people. That's why outerknown is so important. This is Kelly Slater, the GOAT of surfing. Kelly Slater, the most epic dude ever, started this company because he wanted to make clothes that you're not a lunatic for wearing. Clothes that are made with organic, sustainable stuff in factories that treat people well. And clothes that look good. I'm wearing them right now. And I'll tell you, the people who listen to the Wild Ride podcast, as well as my personal friends, get 25% off when they go to outerknown.com/Stevo. That's outerknown.com/Stevo. And make sure you use the promo code Stevo to enjoy, again, 25% off your order. And you can feel really good about it because it's organic, sustainable stuff made in factories that treat people well. One more time, outerknown.com/Stevo, and use the promo code Stevo for 25% off your order. And you can thank Kelly Slater for that. Now let's get back to it. I think is what Cat Web's so. I don't think he necessarily cares. And to answer your question, did he get blackballed?
he's been blackballed.
Right, like,
and that's why he's lashing out like that.
Well, he's been blackballed because they said he was difficult to work with. But then his reasoning was like, well, I'm just not gonna, wear a fucking dress.
There was a point before Suge Knight went to prison. Suge Knight was like all of a sudden acting as his manager, some weird thing.
Really?
Yeah, put Suge Knight and Katt Williams.
Suge Knight has a podcast that he does from jail from a payphone.
No, he does not.
Yeah. Yeah, it's called, look that up.
If that's true, that's epic.
Katt Williams said his arrest alongside Suge Knight in 2014 wasn't what it appeared.
Yeah. Hey, look up Suge Knight's podcast.
That is just really, really funny.
Collect calls with Suge Knight.
Calls with Suge Knight. What an
my
epic
God.
name.
How many subscribers does it have?
Collect calls.
600 Breakbeat Media. I mean, that's pretty epic. He's probably got some shit to say.
Wow.
Wow.
Such a good name, too.
It's a really good name for a
God.
prison podcast, dude.
You made a lot of collect calls from prison?
I mean, I was never in prison. I was in county jail, and I made some calls.
Who are you calling in prison?
I mean,
in jail?
Whoever, Like I was in jail for my dad's birthday in 1996, and I never had ever forgot my dad's birthday. It was the one time I didn't call my dad on his birthday because I didn't have the heart for him to pick up the phone and hear, you're receiving a call from an inmate in a correctional facility. So I just acted as if I forgot his birthday that year.
Yeah.
Did you ever tell him that, like, that's the reason why?
Yeah.
Okay.
I died many years later.
Yeah.
many years later. He didn't know I was in jail. But in any case, so to answer your question, no, I don't think that Katt Williams' career suffers because of this, because any issues that it would cause have already been caused, is my guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It does benefit him, and now he goes on Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Hart took the high road, saying, "I hope his career kills it," and this and that, and it's a case where negative publicity is actually good publicity.
He went after Steve Harvey.
Oh my God, he went after everybody. Steve Harvey,
Ludacris,
Cedric the Entertainer,
Ludacris,
like Tiffany Haddish, Kevin Hart, Ludacris, Taraji. Or maybe he didn't go after her. Maybe he was supportive of her. I don't know. It was insane. All right.
Well, can we? I mean,
okay, so Arron Rodgers took the L.
Aaron Rodgers took the L for sure.
Yeah. Is Arron Rodgers attractive?
I used to think so. I don't think so.
All right.
what's your type, Autumn?
Hey, it's so. I don't even know how to answer this. I don't have a type.
Well, what attracted you to Vinny?
You know what it wasn't that he thinks it is? It wasn't his eyes. He always says
Thank
it's
God.
the eyes. It's not the eyes. That wasn't but he loves saying that it's the eyes. It wasn't the eyes.
What was it?
I don't know. Initially, so we met on Instagram. Like
Who
good old
slid into
fashioned
whose
Instagram.
DM?
He did, but I kind of initiated it. I'll admit that.
What'd he say?
No.
He said.
She.
Hey, we're
started-
letting Autumn talk.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm gonna tell the truth.
Okay.
He popped up on my Explorer page, and I don't follow like a lot of stunt things or a lot of stuff like that, but I just saw like this guy backflipping into fire, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So I clicked on it, and I saw he had tattoos. It was the tattoos first. That's what it was first. It's like, oh, he's got a lot of
fucking guy.
tattoos. And then I don't know. I was just I was just creeping, and it was more just like your personality. I was like, oh, he's like really funny. I felt like you were very transparent. That's what it was. But like physical, it was your smile. I really liked your smile. That's what the first thing was. It wasn't the eyes.
All right.
Wow.
It was the
What
smile.
can I say?
Yeah.
And then he took you out on the first date.
Yeah.
Where'd he take you?
I forget the name. It was in Malibu. It was
There's
really
this
nice.
really good restaurant in Malibu called Sunset.
Were you impressed?
I was impressed. I was. He actually, so we talked on FaceTime for a few weeks before we met because I was in Canada. And then I had come up to LA. And the first 10 minutes of the car, he didn't say anything.
I was
so
nervous.
Shy. Like,
Really?
he didn't
Yeah, I was
speak. I
nervous.
was talking. He was like, oh, yeah. Like, you're like a completely different person. Us talking on FaceTime.
I was really shy.
He was so shy.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't even like look me in the eye. Just so, yeah. But it was really nice.
Okay.
Yeah. So shy.
I think before you guys started dating, we had discussed on the podcast that Vinny, like, just to our shock and surprise, like, has just like been really popular with like wildly attractive women.
I saw it.
Okay,
That's almost what turned me off because I was like, oh, great. He's like really out there. I was like,
She thought I was a cheater.
yeah, I thought you
Oh
were a
no,
cheater.
not
yeah.
a cheater.
Yeah, no, no
okay,
definitely
well,
not a
player.
cheater.
I thought you were a player.
Okay, so that
Hmm.
I want to be I want to be a little candid here. I haven't said anything, but I have a resentment. I've been harboring a resentment towards Vinny.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah, because when we had Knoxville on the podcast, first 2 minutes of the podcast, I explained to Knoxville that since the last time he was on, that I've really put effort into cultivating better conversational etiquette, not interrupting people, letting people speak, and I said I think I've gotten better. And Vinny's up there. He goes,
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what? Like, I mean, I have been really trying. I think I've gotten really better.
You've gotten a little better, not greatly better, not like really, really
So
better.
he's doubling down.
Wow.
Dude, it made for a good riff. Like,
And I'm just like, oh God, like that's the one episode where we know every single one of our persons. And it's in the first 2 minutes of the episode. And Vinny's over here being like, hey, you suck. You suck. Your show sucks. You suck.
Well, I mean, I think what the meant was like you got an 80% better,
yeah, nah.
and you're taking the to mean 15% better.
All right.
I'd say 70% better.
All right.
Yeah.
I'd say 90.
I mean it. We don't need to go overboard over here.
Okay, you just cut me off.
Okay, but
but-
that's got nothing to do with anything. And
You
I
just had
really,
to steer that towards you when we were talking about Autumn and Vinny.
right. No, I was joking around with Isaac, saying like, "Oh man, I want to let Vinny have it because I'm so mad about the Knoxville thing." I'm not mad, and I don't want to let you have it.
But you motherfucker.
I don't want to.
Damn, I didn't know you were a little upset about that.
I mean, I was like,
I didn't know either.
I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I like there was a lot of laughter after that.
yeah,
so.
I mean, it was funny, but it was burned.
Okay.
Okay, but I will justify anything that. This is just going to be juicy right here.
Yeah.
Okay, when we got to England,
Yes.
when we landed in England,
Yes.
you were very quiet, very withdrawn,
Yes.
very sad,
Yes.
because you had received a call or had a conversation with Autumn,
Yes.
where she explained that your relationship was over.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. That popped in my head the other day, and I got mad about it. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I just
Yeah.
was like,
Let's hear from Autumn.
Okay.
What happened?
Okay.
yeah, sure. Okay. So I'm someone, when I start dating someone, I'm very transparent about things that I like, things I don't like in relationships. And, I just air it all out, because my thing is like, from that, you can be like, okay, this is going to work for me. I don't want to be with you. Maybe I have these habits or I do these things. So I just like to tell someone, I like flowers, and I don't like when you like girls' Instagram pictures. So I was very, so he did the flowers thing. He always sent me flowers. He was very nice. But I did notice from like the beginning of us talking to like getting into dating, I would see his follower number go up a lot. And I was like, okay.
The people who he is following.
His following.
Yeah.
And it was always like Instagram girls,
Yeah, like the fitness accounts with 12 million followers.
Yeah, and so as I understood it, Autumn, you
So-
said to Vinny, like, hey, it bothers me when you follow porn stars and
Politely,
like
yeah.
their posts.
You
and
set a
comment
healthy
on them.
boundary.
How about this, young lady? Setting and maintaining healthy boundaries, which actually proved to nourish and grow a healthy relationship with Vinny. It's a beautiful thing. And I also think that it's very important to nourish and grow a healthy business with healthy boundaries. And that's where ShipStation comes in, man. ShipStation is the way to grow your business online by selling stuff to your audience, like, say, for example, autographed Skyjack skateboards. And I'm really happy to have these available one more time, because the bucket list special has been so much fun to share and to promote, and everybody's loving skyjacking. So everybody can now go to stevo.com and enjoy this. And you know what? They can receive it because of ShipStation. It's just this one interface that brings together all the different carriers like FedEx, UPS, United States Postal Service, and all the different ways you can sell. If it's, for me, stevo.com, maybe you sell on Amazon, Etsy, eBay, doesn't matter. All in one interface. You've got all of your e-commerce working for you with the cheapest rates available, and it's all just so easy. It just prints out the label, boom, put it on the box, it's out the door. You're killing it with e-commerce. You're growing and nourishing a healthy business, and it's all because of ShipStation. Plus, they'll give you 30 days free trial if you go to shipstation.com and use the promo code STEVO. Nothing to lose, 30-day free trial. It's time to make ship happen and grow your business. So, go to shipstation.com, use the promo code STEVO, and happy selling, everybody. Now let's get back to it. Post.
Yeah.
And then, it continues after you said that you had a problem with that.
A couple times. It continued a few
A
more
couple?
times.
Oh,
We just
more
heard it
than
was
one.
once.
More than
No.
once.
It continued a few times, and it wasn't like he was like messing. Like, it wasn't anything like that. Like,
Right.
you're not like a cheater, but he just kept doing it. Like,
Right.
so I got mad because I was like, I'm someone, if I like initiate a boundary, like if someone tells me they're not comfortable with something, then I'm like, I won't do it.
Right.
So he kept doing it.
Mm.
So, on top of that, he didn't like text me right away when he got to London. So that made me mad too. Cause I was like, I know you're there. Like, you're not texting me. So in my head, I was like, oh, he's following all these girls. He's like, whatever. I was just spiraling. So I was like, you know what? Like, if that's something you like to do. If you like to follow these accounts and consume it, that's fine, but you're not going to do it when you're with me. I don't think it was unfair. I don't think it
Not
was
at all.
unfair, you know?
No.
It was 100% like the
Absolutely.
most rational, healthy boundary.
Yeah.
And Vinny was.
It wasn't like it just came out of nowhere. It wasn't like,
Right.
you know, if that was something that I never discussed and then I just broke up, it's like, okay, well, you never expressed. Because some people don't care about that in relationships.
You want to know
I
what
mean?
he ate after you broke up with him?
What?
I came down to the lobby and he's eating a whole pizza and a fucking gallon of ice cream. And I'm like,
Really?
Jesus Christ, dude, what are you eating?
And-
Mind you, 8 hours before that, he's like, I'm on a diet. I'm like,
he was absolutely devastated. Like, it was the harshest thing. And all he had to say for himself was like, dude, like,
all I did was like a photo.
He did not just like a photo. He followed like half of the population of Instagram models. I was like,
yeah, he wasn't defending himself. He's just like, I can't help it. Like, I see a hot chick, I hit follow, double tap. Like, I can't. It's just like, you know, it doesn't mean anything by it. I just can't help it. Like, I see it, I like it.
that's what I get. But like my thing is too, like I see hot dudes on Instagram all the time, but in my brain, it's like as a girl's point, if I go and look at who's following me, I assume that it's to do the interest. Like you see my Instagram, I'm not posting like pictures of me at the library. So if you're following me, then you know that's obviously what. So to me, it's like if someone's in a relationship, if you see someone that's attractive, cool, she's attractive, just keep swiping.
Okay, but are dudes DMing you?
Yeah.
Are you responding?
No, I haven't. There was this, I always tell you, like, there's this one guy
she's
that was in a
always-
band, and I was like, he DM'd me, like, this is so cool. So I, like, responded. I'm like, oh, thanks. Like, yeah, I love your music. And then he said, oh, send me a text sometime. And I never answered. But I tell him everything. I always tell him, like, I feel like I tell you too much. Because sometimes I like, go into detail and he's like, I don't want to know. But it's just my conscience. Like, if something pops in my head or something happens,
Right.
I'm like, I need to tell you.
You gotta behave at all times as
Yeah.
though your significant other is watching on
That's
like a special surveillance
Exactly
camera,
what I
so
say.
that
Yeah.
everything you
That's
do is
exactly what I say.
always like respectful of your significant
Yeah. Yeah.
Isaac brought up Jeremy Rogers because he was one of the dudes that was hitting her up.
other. Oh wow!
Wow.
Yeah.
I never answered him. I don't
Oh,
think
you
I did.
didn't?
Who was the guy in the band? Can you say?
Um,
Can you say the name of the band?
Can I say that? Well, he's not. He's like a solo musician. I don't know if I could. I don't. his
Kenny
name-
Yeah,
Rogers?
like-
Just
No,
started
don't
following her.
Okay,
I'm so excited about that.
we don't
That's fine,
need
that's
to worry about that. But he's been better since then. Is that
Oh
right?
yeah. I think that was like the wake up call of me being like, this is actually a boundary. Like this is actually ticking me off. Like you're not.
This is a
doing
deal
this.
breaker.
Yeah.
Because what it is, dude, it's like it was second nature for me for so long to just like, and sometimes not even look at the screen. I'm just like,
Oh yeah, not even look.
Not even
Yeah.
look at the screen.
Because you're so busy looking at your zipper.
Jesus.
I think that's what makes me mad is when guys are like, but I don't even look at my phone when I'm liking it. How are you liking it if you're
Yeah.
not looking at your phone?
Do you guys have
Definitely.
access to each other's phones?
yeah,
You don't go on mine, but I look on
No.
yours.
Yeah, good.
Good.
I think that's
Not
helpful.
anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore. But I
Lux
did
and I have our face recognition.
Oh, yeah,
we
yeah.
used to have our thumbprint. We share
Yeah.
locations.
Yeah, we
but-
share locations. He's the first guy I've ever done that with. I've never done that before, but
Good.
Yeah.
I like that. I think it's healthy.
yeah.
but
for
in
sure.
terms of like trust, like we don't have issues with that. That was a boundary, and it made me mad. So I
So,
got over it.
Can-
but
So that problem has been resolved
Yes,
to my knowledge,
Okay.
it's been resolved.
to her.
I don't look
knowledge.
anymore. I don't know. I feel like I should look now.
Right.
No.
No, I mean, I believe that it has, and I don't have any question about
Yeah.
Vinny's dedication to you. I believe
No,
that
me
Vinny's
neither.
faithful to you. I
Yeah.
think that like he's profoundly grateful. He's clearly a lucky guy to be with you,
Yeah.
and that's all good. What could be looked at as concerning, I'll just give an example. When you went to Vegas
Mhm.
for your first time ever, we all went out on this trip to Las Vegas. You'd never seen it, and you'd think like, this is Vinny's opportunity to show you something you've never seen before, to take you on a romantic date, to go like walk the strip, see the sights, and Vinny treated you to a trip to a shoe store so that you could watch him buy himself
I
I'm
remember
so
that.
happy
Pair
you
of
said that.
shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
Like,
that.
that
It
was
was
that-
actually you that said it too. You were like, "Why are you not bringing her out to
Yeah.
go do these things?"
My-
You got a hot chick on your arm in Vegas, and you take her to fucking
To
where,
go buy
Payless?
yourself a pair of shoes. Hey, babe, this place they got sick hype beast imbalances.
hype beast invalid.
Dude, all right. I'm not gonna. Okay, listen. I'm not gonna make up excuses and try to justify any of this whatsoever. But
Yeah.
I've never really been in a relationship with somebody who I like genuinely care about. Right? For like. Ever, honestly, you know what I mean. So it's like I really.
So you would
Isaac's laughing.
so you would think that this being your first time, you'd be overwhelmed with just
A helicopter ride around the fucking Grand Canyon, dude. Fucking Michelin
I know,
restaurant.
but-
Hey, Steve, can you text Gordon Ramsay for me to fucking get me into Hell's Kitchen?
You're not making a good argument. It's like if this is the first time, it's like I can't
ever
help
cared
it.
about
I know.
anybody.
It's the first time
know,
I ever cared
dude.
about it. She's all I think about. All I want to do is just take her
I
to
know.
go watch me buy a pair of shoes.
I was gonna buy her a pair too.
I was gonna.
I asked her. She says no.
I don't wear. These
I
are
know.
the first Nikes that I have, and they're because of you. He bought a year later. He bought me shoes.
Okay, now on the topic of your hype beast shoe habit,
Yeah.
is it alarming or concerning to you, Autumn, what a disproportional amount of Vinny's funds,
Income
income,
is allotted.
is allotted to his hype beast end balances? That is dunks. That is like, right? Like, I mean,
I'll argue on this one all day. I do not spend a crazy amount of money on shoes.
Everybody thinks so.
I
mean,
don't.
it's hard to imagine.
You do spend a lot, but I mean, like, as long as we have like a house and a car.
Yeah,
and
I
food,
make sure I have a good amount of money in my savings account. I make sure the bills are paid. I
Good.
make sure there's food in the fridge. I make sure everything is fucking good.
Hey, and if your lady's cool with it, then
Yeah.
I don't judge. Like I don't spend money. Like I don't, right?
Yeah, I know.
I don't. But I like spending money. Like I read a lot of books, so a lot of my things. So if he were to make me feel bad about why, like that's just a stupid hobby, you know. I mean, it is a little more productive than shoes. But if he were to make me feel bad about that, I'd be like, well, that's something I like to do and it makes me happy. So I don't make him feel bad. If I was noticing like our funds were just really low, like
Right.
we
But
had
do you have
$20 in
an
the
eye
bank.
on that? Do you have do you know what your funds are? Have you guys
We haven't opened up a joint
No,
bank
we
account
haven't
But
yet.
she could look at my phones anytime.
But I
she
don't-
wants.
yeah,
I have
it-
not.
No, but I mean,
she
you
can
guys.
she can look at his funds. They're in his closet.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, they're in his- but isn't that something that's important for two becomes one? So you guys are gonna
Yeah,
commingle funds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
For
are you better? Are you better at spending money, or is Vinny better at spending money?
No, I really don't spend money. I
So-
No,
really,
she's so
really don't.
low maintenance.
I
dude.
don't.
It's crazy.
And are you high maintenance?
He's so high. My mom even says, she always asks me about the wedding. She's like, how's the future bride doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm good. She's like, no, not you, Vinny. Because he's so high maintenance. He just wants all these things. He was trying to rent like a Rolls Royce for the wedding. I was like, you don't.
Because it would look sick in pictures.
I know.
Like an old school,
Kinda
old fashioned
sick.
Rolls Royce
It
for a
would
few hours, you
Kinda
know?
sick,
Yeah.
So
But we want to make sure this marriage lasts.
Yes,
So
for
is
sure.
there anything that Vinny does that you don't like that we can air out now that you guys are arguing about? Because I feel like you got a catch here, Vinny.
I know.
Thank
I
you.
do.
You
have
You
a
don't want to
catch.
fuck it up.
I know.
And I feel like I'm going to say, when we did the big shoot at my house.
I
Yes.
was gonna bring that up
Oh,
too.
God.
Oh,
Yeah.
but you probably because you weren't even there for this part
Well,
of it.
I heard
Which-
about this when
oh.
I gave you a call.
Yeah, you
I
did.
called
you called
you
me. I know.
directly, and I said, "Hey, man,
I know.
it sounds like you were, egregiously lacking self-awareness and very inconsiderate of your lady when we had this shoot at the house."
Are you picking up on social cues from your girl when
No.
she's on the couch and you're like, what, dude? Well, I have to go into the jacuzzi and get
I
my
had
me time
nothing to do.
for 15 minutes. But her friends,
I went and I was going into the jacuzzi while the footage was
The
dropping.
footage was dropped.
footage was dropped.
The footage was dropping.
I gotta get in the jacuzzi for my 15 minutes of me time.
Yeah, I just want 15 minutes to myself. And then you took
Bro,
you took a
no.
call.
Okay, listen.
And my
Listen.
best friends in town.
Listen.
Came over.
No. No. I was going in and out of the jacuzzi while the footage was dropping, and then also
And the footage was like 11 minutes ago.
And I had a business meeting, a little thing that I was doing. I was supposed to go do that never happened. Yeah, thank God.
I had a business meeting and I just had to get my 15 minutes of me time before so I'd be ready for it.
Okay, I'm not gonna make excuses or justifications for like my shitty actions, but
but Autumn, but that's not the only time this has happened, right?
Right.
No, it was a consistent thing. I always say at the beginning of the relationship, I'm not gonna lie, it was like I had a very hard time. Not because you're like, oh no, not because you're like a horrible boyfriend, but like you haven't been in relationships like at all. They've been like 2 months, you know? So it's hard to be with someone like that who hasn't been in relationships because they really lack like that self-awareness, and they're like at times it can be selfish because they're not used to being, you know, but I'm someone like I've been in like 4-year relationships. I've lived with people, like, you know what I mean? So I have that. So I know like not to be selfish, but he just didn't really. But I think genuinely the last time, like when you called, when it was like coming from a third party, like looking up being like, dude, like I think that's when it was kind of his wake up call. Because there's times where it would get better and then, you know, it would decline. But I think like someone else being like, this is, you know.
Well, see, like I am a particularly self-absorbed, like, you know, shithead, and I know how much work that I have to do for my relationship.
Everyone does, yeah.
Right.
No, it's perfect.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I'm totally kidding.
I know. I just know how much I come up short, and I'm aware of it. I strongly believe that it is important to know when you come up short and to do something about it. And sadly, I have to admit one more time that I have come up short. And how do I know that? I know that because I wear a Whoop band. You see, today I have only burned 1,917 calories so far, and it's after 10 p.m. as I speak right now. That is pathetic. With the kind of recovery I got last night, the kind of sleep, I mean, I got only 87% of my sleep performance goal, but that's no excuse for my strain being as low as it is. And these are statistics, information that help me know when I got to push a little harder. And man, there's no other fitness tracking device that's going to give you anywhere near as much insight into what's going on with your body and your health than Whoop. All of the awesomest people wear it because it's the awesomest thing to wear. And you can get 10% off your whole deal at whoop.com. That's WHOOP.com. if you use the promo code STEVO. And you're going to know when you come up short. Like, I'll tell you this, yesterday, I didn't come up short at all. Yesterday, I burned 3,391 calories. And that's called beast mode. And I know that because I wear a Whoop band. So if you want to get on the Whoop train, then go to whoop.com and use the promo code STEVO, and you're going to get 10% off at checkout. It's a good call, man. I strongly recommend it. So jump on the Whoop train and let's get back to it. You know, and so I know that it takes a lot of work. And so my concern with Vinny was that, like, he's not even necessarily aware of it, you know?
Yeah,
like,
that's when it's,
you know,
and you're right. At the time, I really wasn't that aware of it.
But now it's the new Vinny.
Yes.
All right, so does Autumn do anything that bugs you?
No,
I really
not
don't think so.
No.
Sorry, I'm gonna answer for
So
you.
don't fuck this up.
I know.
dude.
I know.
I don't
Okay,
think
let me
so.
ask you this.
Let me say this. She puts up with my shit very well. And she understands that, like, the goals that I have and dreams that I have, and she lets me fucking do all these things without question.
Yeah.
And that means more to me than anything, you know? So I'm a shithead sometimes.
Are you gonna cry at your wedding?
I don't know.
He's gonna cry. I
don't
have a bet
know.
that he's gonna cry on the altar.
He is a cry. You're a lot more emotional than I am.
Yeah.
I'm very
Yeah.
emotional for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then I have to ask this. I'm sorry because we're beating up on Vinny. What happens once you guys get married?
Oh yeah, you
I
guys
don't know if you can even
Yeah.
say that on YouTube.
What happened to you? Can I say
What
OF?
happens? What happens to your side hustle?
Yeah. Oh, you guys don't know the latest. I'm actually like kind of retired. I retired
Kinda.
recently. Yeah. I deleted both of my pages that I was using. I just wasn't happy doing it anymore. I wasn't feeling it. I feel like
How much money was coming in from that? It was like a good few grand a month, right?
so when I was doing the first site, it was a lot because they were paying me to be on the app as well on top of that. And then the second site, it was kind of more just extra money. I wasn't really putting a lot into it. And then when I kind of reflected, like, well, why am I not putting a lot into it? I just wasn't happy doing it. I felt like more of like a chore and that kind of thing. And I felt like I wasn't really showing anyone like what I wanted to show. Like I know it's a touchy subject on this podcast, but I like playing video games and that kind of thing.
It's not touchy anymore. We're good with it. Yeah.
I'm a gamer.
We love
You're
it.
safe here.
What do you like, COD and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So cool. So I want people to like know about me. Like I like playing video games and I like doing like YouTube and that kind of thing. And I just feel like what I was doing wasn't really like reflecting my interests. So yeah, I just like impulsively I just deleted it.
Good.
So that's gone. Yeah.
How are you making money?
I do social media management for a
Good.
company. Yeah. So it's all from home. So I just manage like their like Facebook, Instagram, all their socials and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a keeper.
You do.
You have more than
I
a
know,
keeper.
I know.
You do.
And
Yes.
does Vinny snore?
Okay, you know what makes me so upset is that at the beginning of our relationship, I was like, oh, it's so nice being with someone who doesn't snore. Like I get all these peaceful sleeps. As soon as he like proposes and I say yes, I swear to God, that night he starts snoring like that. And I was like, okay, it'll pass. It's just one night. And for the last however long we've been engaged,
It's pretty
every
bad.
single night. Never though. At the beginning, never. You never snored.
Is it time for a sleep study to see if you need a CPAP?
I think he. I think
so,
he does.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just, I
It's
move
like-
into the living room and sleep on the couch sometimes. Just so.
And he gets mad at
Yeah.
me.
I
I'm
don't
like,
get
"Why are
mad
you-"
at
Of course
yeah,
he
you
gets
do.
mad
No, I
at
know.
You're like,
It's your
you're
fault.
waking me up from hitting me and like whatever, because I'll nudge him, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Like,
Okay. Now, Vinny intermittently gets pretty dedicated to eating better and losing weight and stuff. Like, where are you at? Like with Vinny's weight? Do you chime in? Do you say like, oh, like, I love you the way you are, like it's okay,
Yeah.
like, or like, hey, maybe get on a treadmill, like.
my thing, like with anyone, as long as I see someone being productive, like he's 10 times more active than me. Like he wakes up in the morning, goes for walks, goes to the gym. I started getting into it because it's like important to him. It's part of his routine and that kind of thing. But if I noticed anyone, like no matter what size they were, like not taking care of themselves and just whatever, I would chime in. But like he goes to the gym every day. He goes for walks. He eats super healthy. Like you really don't eat bad.
You eat
So it's
super
like,
healthy?
I've been
he
doing
doesn't eat
very
bad.
well.
He only eats 2,500 calories.
No.
I've been
You
doing
get a
pretty.
sweet tooth every now and
I
then,
know my
but-
Recently-
sweet tooth. Recently, what?
You've been eating healthy?
Yes, the past few weeks.
But like, here's the thing with Vinny. He's so fucking confident and like borderline delusional that I think he creates this reality that like he's actually because he'll be like, dude, I haven't eaten anything bad. And then he'll literally go walk into the cabinet and just start eating fucking bullshit. And I'm like, Vinny, you just said, he's like, it's the only time. But like it happens like 5 or 6 times a day.
At home, I don't know what he does here, but at home I will say that he eats good.
Because he's like, dude, I ate healthy. I had fucking oatmeal and I sprinkled brown sugar all over it. And then I had a bagel with lox and cream cheese.
Out of here,
Right?
No,
One
dude.
thing, I'm going to tell him about the jelly bean thing. It's really funny. So a few weeks ago, you weighed yourself and he just like wasn't happy. So he's like, okay, no more sweets until the wedding. Like nothing. I'm not kidding. 2 hours later, he comes in with a handful of jelly beans.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, oh, can I have some? He's like, no. And he just ate all of them. I'm like, and he's like, he forgot that he said that.
That's what I'm saying.
He forgot. He's like, oh, I forgot that I said that 2 hours ago.
I think it's
was
like
so
this
funny.
fucking like delusional reality that he lives in.
Yeah, I
He's
think-
my favorite person in the world. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to shit on him.
Yeah.
He's my top 4 favorite person in the world. But like he's like, dude, I don't spend any money on clothes, and then he'll come to
Shows
Steve's
up
the
with
next
the
day.
Louis Vuitton
Yeah. or like shopping bags, and we're like, me and Isaac look at each other and we're like, dude, you just said you didn't shop. He's like, dude, this is my once a month where I'm able to shop. Right, Isaac? Help me out here. Isaac, say something.
I mean, I think we all love Vinny more than like anybody in the world because he's such a just beautiful disaster.
That's the best
Like
way to
he's just
explain it.
such an absolute.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, you're classic.
Class
You're
actor.
classic. Like,
Yeah.
You're classic. You're so hilarious because, like, like you're Vinny.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't be more happy that, like, it was gradual. Vinny, like, kind of, like, coming into the picture.
Yeah.
And, like, he was behind the scenes and then more and more, it's like, dude, he's classic.
Yeah.
I love Vinny being on the mic. I think that all of your contributions to the episodes are stellar. I think that your dedication to my team, he's ride or die.
That's the one thing I really like found attractive about him is he's just so like ride or die and just so reliable
Yeah.
and consistent.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
one of the
he's
biggest
ride or die, and he's fucking hilarious. And we're all rooting for you guys.
Thanks, dude.
things. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't think
Love
I
you guys.
have anything else that I would want to even like, poke at. But like, I pledge to speak up if I see him acting like a schmuck. I've already done it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll do it
Please do.
again.
Yeah.
Say, hey, dude, like, don't be blowing it. Like you've been.
Yeah, I was listening to that guy Patrick Bet David talk about like what's the key to a successful marriage, and it was something along the lines of like, if you were to call or his 5 closest friends and your 5 closest friends, like if you called one of those girls and were like fucking Vinny da 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 da, they should have his back. The same as if Vinny were to call us and vent about something like you, we would give him shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I mean? He said that's the kind of people you should surround yourself with, like, and we all have your
Yeah.
back
Thank
because
you.
we want this to work.
Yeah. It's gonna take a community.
Yeah.
Okay,
I love it.
last question before we get to our bucket list winner.
Yeah.
Does he satisfy you in bed?
He does. I will say lately, there's been a little lasting problem.
Oh wow!
Lasting.
Yeah, dude.
What, you come too quick?
Coming quick.
Too quick. But yeah, aside,
But at first it's like,
Well,
okay, you're
how
lasting
quick?
too long,
Like
and
a
now
minute.
it's too quick.
How quick?
like a minute.
Uh,
Like a minute.
dude, that's pretty crazy. It seems like the other way around.
I wish I could
Like-
last a minute.
I mean, that's got to be flattering.
It's flattering, but it's also like, do something. Like,
Does like so 1 minute and then he starts snoring?
yeah.
Yeah. Dude, at first, 20, 30 minutes.
It was too long at
Yeah.
first. Yeah.
30
Too
minutes.
And then what? She just
And then lately
I think we
it's
just
been,
figured it out.
lately it's just been really quick. Yeah.
Wow.
He has no shame in it too. He just lays there like he's been shot, and he's like, "Oh, that was great."
A minute of cardio, and he's
And then
fucking
and then he
done.
doesn't do anything to satisfy you.
Not lately.
Just not lately.
Well, how late?
Look, I
Just
had,
not lately.
I had, no. Hold on a second here. Hold on. I've had this conversation with you. I was like, I think my testosterone levels are, because we're not even having that much sex lately.
You
It's
have
just,
like the libido of like a sloth. Lately. I don't know.
I know.
what-
I don't know what it is. I haven't had
stressed.
I think stress is a big part of it. I haven't had energy. my sex drive isn't there right now.
Why is it gonna be there later?
No, no. So
You lose a couple
Yeah, the
pounds?
past few weeks, I've finally got my routines back. I've been finally eating better. I'm back in the gym. I have my schedules, and I've been feeling better mentally and physically. So
Okay, here's a suggestion, and I'll even like just spill this out about
Yes.
about Lux and I and our intimate affairs.
Mhm.
Like I fairly regularly, like our program is, I go downtown.
Mhm.
I go downtown and I just bury my face where it needs to be buried until she's gotten where she needs to get.
After you come.
No, because after I come, I'm, Start out. I go down there and I get it done completely until she is collected, been paid in full.
yeah.
And that, like, once we get to that point, Like, that's kind of what turns me on. So once she's arrived at her final destination, then I'm like, all right, now I'm just totally
Gotcha.
ready.
Yeah.
So now let's try something. You know, like,
Yeah.
Don't be so selfish.
I know. I mean, look, when we were first together, the first few months, like I was on ready to go all day, every day.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, and then I think,
and then now I'm just over it.
You son of a bitch.
no, dude, never, dude, never. I don't know. There's just
Okay.
I'm super stressed.
Like, if he goes downtown,
Yeah.
does he have any skills in that department?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I finish like
yeah.
every time. Like every time.
Oh.
There's never been like any. Yeah.
So why
That's the
not
best.
start the ceremonies
That's
that
what
way?
I've been saying for the last 2 months.
2 months.
It's been a rough 2 months.
Dude,
Two
rough
months.
to-
Rough
dude, you don't
2
want the
months.
rough two. You're getting married this weekend.
I know.
It's been a rough
You're in a
2
rough
months.
2
It's-
months.
not 2 months.
The night of our wedding.
She
we'll
can
probably,
tell you the exact date it started. Probably
Not 2 months.
I can.
No.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
it's probably
tell
been
us.
about
it
a
was
month.
the last week in November when I noticed it was like going a little rocky.
Wait, the last time we had sex?
No, not the last time we had sex,
Oh.
but when it started going a
The
little.
last time I was any good.
The last
Yeah.
time we had sex was like Boxing Day.
Okay, it
Boxing
sounds
Day.
The
like
26th of December is the
Yeah.
last time you
We've
guys
Boxing
had
like
Day.
done
sex.
things since then, but it was Boxing Day. was
What's
the last
Boxing
time.
Day?
This is the
day
26th of
after
December.
Christmas.
Oh.
You haven't had
Yeah.
sex in 3 weeks?
No.
Yeah, we haven't at the house. We've done like stuff, but we haven't because every night he's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do it," and then he's like either just snoring by the time I get there, or I go down there and then you're just. So, yeah.
She goes down there.
Yes, as much as he will allow me because he's.
Oh,
hasn't been
wow.
really- I like doing it.
She's as
Look at
much
his face, dude.
as much
I
as
love
you'll
doing it.
allow.
I allow it all
Please
day, every day. I don't know what you're
Please
talking about.
admit that I do it a lot. Please
Yeah,
admit
of course. Yeah,
Okay, so can we get a commitment from you that you'll go down?
of course.
Tonight?
I love going
Yeah.
down.
Will you
I
guys
love,
have sex tonight?
Yes,
Yes.
sure.
It sounds-
Absolutely.
If you love it so much, then why isn't it happening?
I'm exhausted. I'm so
I
tired.
love it. I love
Let
it
her
so-
get on top. You don't have to do anything.
I know. That's
Yeah.
what we. And I would. Yeah, I know. I'm
Yeah, but
gonna.
she'll be on top for like less than a minute.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
I can't believe you.
All right, well,
Jeez, dude.
All right.
I mean, can we just commit to making sure she arrives at her destination
Of course.
before you board the train?
Of course.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is
That's
like
going to be
therapy.
the key
This
to a
is like the couples
long-lasting
therapy.
marriage.
Yes.
All right. Well, we with that, I think I'm pretty comfortable to not have to speak up at the actual wedding.
Thank God.
Yeah. Say speak now or forever hold your peace. And I think I've raised all my concerns. I think I'm satisfied.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
How about
Yeah.
you, Scott?
Yeah.
Good? Okay.
I'm good.
Good.
I've felt like I had said everything I needed to say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I can't wait for this weekend.
All
It's gonna
right.
be fun.
Let's do it.
And here's what a trooper Vinny is. We have so many goddamn podcasts in and around his wedding that he's doing them all. You know what I mean?
Are you doing not the Chris Angel one?
Yeah.
Are you gonna do that
The
too?
day after.
I want him to.
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
a big Chris Angel fan.
Which one?
Oh,
Which one would
yeah.
you rather not
She's
do?
like, I want him to. I'm just so over this guy.
He's not even eating my pussy on a wedding night. Which podcast would you like to not get out of, or would you like to get out of for your wedding?
Anything after Chris Angel.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
So you can do everything
aren't you
before.
doing? You're doing.
We'll hopefully have like 2 or 3
Penn
more.
and Teller or something. Yeah. I
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
All right.
Will you let us know?
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
stress.
Yeah.
And thank you, Autumn.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you.
for being here, Autumn.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
me.
Thanks,
And
baby.
now, everybody, when I released and promoted my bucket list special, I announced on my social media pages that I was going to fulfill somebody's bucket list wish. And people submitted. There was one guy who is terminally ill and trying to set world records
Iain.
raising money to for cancer research, and his request was that he be on the Wild Ride podcast. And this guy's, I mean, dude, the video he made is classic, and he was by far and away the winner. So let's get to it. And ladies and gentlemen, Iain Ward, the bucket list winner. And Iain won with this fantastic, hilarious, and emotional submission where he explained that he has terminal brain cancer. Is that right?
That's correct. I like your description of it. Makes it seem as though like I'm a jujitsu expert, that it's like this emotional submission where like,
Yeah.
what's that film, The Warrior, where he's like breaking his arm and he's telling his brother, "I love you, man."
There you
Emotion.
go.
Submission. That's me all over.
It genuinely was by far and away the most compelling submission to the contest of all. And what was particularly fascinating is that I reshared your Instagram reel to my stories with you distinctively tagged, copied. And you didn't even acknowledge it. Homeboy's over here not checking his DMs at all. I'm like, yo, where you at? And it's just crickets. Then Isaac was like, DM'd you like, hey, like you win. It's crickets. That's why it's been like literally like 2 months with no winner.
But you're not you might actually not have been the only person that this has happened to. Are you? I know you're into UFC, but did you ever follow WWE?
I've not followed WWE.
It doesn't matter. There's someone in it, and her name is Becky Lynch. And Becky Lynch went to the same school as me. I think she was a year below the year that my brother was in. So we have loads of actual sort of friends that are all on Instagram together. And Becky sent me a video sent me a message about 2 years ago, just saying like, hey, I see you go up on social media and blah, 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 blah. And Becky Lynch is like, if you go to buy one of the video games for WWE, she's on the cover. So she's fucking big time. And it was only by the look that I was flicking through the spam folder for DMs on Instagram, and I found her there. And it's like, she's got a blue tick, recognized, and it's like, why is this coming into the spam? And what she said was quite I wouldn't say emotional, but like it was quite a personal message. She was like, Iain, I remember you running around the halls of Mount Temple like a fucking lunatic, and clearly nothing's changed. So like, it wasn't like it was, quite a spammy thing, and somehow it just ended up there. And I imagine that's probably what happened with yourself.
Yeah, that was Iain's long version of "I'm shadow banned, bro." I think Instagram has a prejudice.
Who else are you DMing then?
Yeah, well, no, it's on you, buddy. Anybody else, I'd get you right away. Instagram is prejudiced against terminally ill people.
Can we just like go back to that though? Like what you have? So you have a brain tumor.
Yep.
And how'd you find out you had a brain tumor?
I found out I had a brain tumor because I like money, but I don't like working to get it. So I would only ever. I guess I still only do jobs that I love doing. And so I was doing not that much work. And then so I started making myself into a human guinea pig. And so I was going in to do clinical trials. And basically they pay me shitloads of money to, do whatever tests are going on. And contrary to what you would see in like The Simpsons, where, Bart turns into a monster because he's drinking new kind of cola or something. The amount of testing that they do is so carefully done. They test it on animals before they test it on humans. When they test it on humans, they do tiny doses. So as a student, it was a great way to get a lot of money for absolutely no work. And it's actually ended up saving my life because when I went in, they always do loads of tests to make sure that you are a healthy person and that you can actually take the tolerance of whatever they're going to throw at you. And this time they were doing a particular test that was to do with brain function. So they did an MRI, and somehow the timing of when they wanted that particular testing, which doesn't normally have an MRI is expensive to operate. They saw that I had a tumor. And so they said, yeah, this looks like it's benign, but you got to get this checked out again. And my first reaction to that wasn't like, oh my God, I'm in peril, blah, blah, blah. It was me going, can I still get on the test? And they were like, no, you cannot get on the test. You're in a serious medical condition. I was like, okay, no going to Peru on an expensive holiday then with my friends or anything like that. And they were like, no, you need to get this checked out again. And then when I got it checked the second time, this was kind of during COVID, so there was a big break between the first test and the second test. And then they were like, oh no, this is not benign. This has actually grown a fair bit. So this is likely to be cancerous. We got to get the ice cream scoop out and get it as much as possible. And so it was my decision to either like do that or not go into the surgery. And the risks are far higher. Not to do chemo, the risks are far higher. So pardon the pun, but it was a no-brainer for me. So I went in and I had the surgery. And then afterwards, because during COVID, I had actually set up a social media account just so I could play video games and it be somewhat productive rather than just spending loads of time doing fuck all.
Hey, I support that. I'm a big supporter of video games.
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting.
Funny enough, when I was doing my own little research for this, I was like, one of the last videos that I watched, and it was about you about how like you had been on a gaming podcast.
Yeah.
And went tits up or something.
Yeah. I'm never gonna do that again. So if I heard you correctly, you had brain surgery.
Yeah, it was, I wouldn't recommend it. There's like, I'm pretty sure, well, thinking about like who I'm talking to here, realistically, I reckon you've gone through more unpleasant things than that, to be perfectly honest, because.
But they had to keep you awake, right?
It lasted, pardon?
They had to keep you awake while your brain was.
No.
Being mushed up. Yeah. No, well, it's a choice. It's an obvious choice for anyone who has any kind of, will to live properly. But the choice was to either do it awake, which is unpleasant. You're also your brain doesn't actually have a nervous system, so like when they're poking around in there, it's not painful. Sawing into your fucking skull, that's not pleasant. It's like being caught in a vice in that scene in Casino where like what's his name?
Joe
Pesci's
Pesci.
gonna pop someone's head.
Charlie
Yeah.
M.
I'm gonna pop your head like a fucking grape.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. Except my brain surgeon didn't talk like Joe Pesci, but it's grand.
Okay,
And
so
so,
the surgery
go on.
went well.
Surgery went as well as it possibly could be. Like during the surgery, they were asking me questions of like kind of is this a dog? Is this the cat? And all they would actually look out for is if you would pause between saying that's a cat versus that's a cat. So yeah, surgery went as well as it could.
So Scott was correct. You actually were awake during the surgery?
Oh, yeah. You can have the choice to not be awake. They can put you under an anesthesia. But if they do that, it means that they're poking around in your brain tissue in the dark. Whereas if you're awake, when they are asking you questions and you have that pause, that they have little prongs and it's like they'll be pronging around. And if they're in a certain particular area in the brain tissue and you are taking a moment to say a word, that means that it's active brain tissue. Whereas most of your brain tissue, that whole thing with like Einstein, where it's like, we only use 10% of our brain. And people are like, oh, what if we could use the whole 90%? That's not really how the brain works. The brain is quite like an actual room in a house. And this room is not, 100% full of furniture. If it was 100% full of furniture, you wouldn't be able to move around. So your brain actually needs space to be able to get around and deal with damages. So they would look for the space in the brain that's not being used, and then they would take that out. So that's the bits of the tumor that they would try to take out. So if you're asleep, they're just taking as much out as possible, and that's where people would wake up. And I had trouble speaking after my surgery came about, but had I done that without being asleep during the whole thing, I would have been woken up and not being able to articulate my words properly at all. So I'm very glad I took that option.
Wow. Okay. So fascinating stuff there. And you had the surgery, was successful, but you also had chemo.
Yeah, that was after the chemo. To be perfectly honest, like because it's brain cancer, they can't hit it hard with the chemotherapy. So it was actually fairly easy to go through. People who have, like, say, lung cancer or breast cancer, that hits really hard. They blast you with that shit. But brain cancer, they can't really blast the brain with all the sort of heavy chemo and heavy radiotherapy, because you'd fucking fuck you up. It'd turn you into a vegetable.
So that's why you have your beautiful locks of flowing hair.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right.
You can see it here now. If you turn my head to that side, you can see where the missing hairline is as a
Okay.
comparison to this thing. But,
How long ago was that surgery?
That surgery was 2.5 years ago.
Okay. Now, like the tough question, like what they say I saw in your trailer for your documentary, that they gave you like an estimated 3 years to live.
At the time, it was 5 years, and the only reason that I wanted that, because I had already started up doing the social media stuff. I kind of knew that, like, I'd have to address the scar on the side of my head, and that, like, I'd raise some money for charity while sort of doing my live streams. And then, so when we were asking about the dates, it's not like Breaking Bad, where they give you a set time out there. You got to really, like, try and squeeze it out of them. The doctors are always like, we don't know. We don't want to give you a number. Everybody's unique. And I was like, nah, come on. So I kind of knew that I was making my way towards social media, and that I'd need a number to be able to sort of have as a foundation. So they said, all right, on average, the life expectancy for someone who went in with no symptoms and blah, 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 is 5 years, in and around the 5-year mark. And then they were quick to jump in and say, however, people who come in with no symptoms, meaning that I didn't have headaches, I wasn't getting dizzy, I wasn't, like, slurring my words or falling over, losing my balance, people that don't have symptoms and come in and get a brain scan are usually like twice my age. So the fact that you are young means that you are in a completely unique realm. Our research might be accurate. You might live for 5 years, or you might live for 10. We really don't know. You might live for fucking 20. And so with that, I was like, okay, I heard 5. That's good enough. That's the biggest thing towards the sad story. And so from that is that's what I was going for. I was trying to fish it out of them. And then, because I knew that is going to act like an emotional response, it's going to get more people to have eyeballs on me. And I think after my surgery, after we had that meeting, I think it was 1 week after that, I had my first video up where I had made the decision where it's like, I am going to use this against itself, and I'm going to raise the most amount of money ever for a charity, for cancer research in this case.
Right, and that brings us back to the initial submission that you made on Instagram, saying that you wanted to be on your bucket list. Request was to be on the Wild Ride podcast, to have us help you to draw attention to your fundraising effort to try to break the world record for raising the most money ever by running a marathon.
Yep. You got that fucking memorized way better than I do. I get asked that all the time, and I fucking up constantly.
How have you already run the marathon?
I have run several marathons, but it's a thing where it's like every year the attempt has to be started again. So it's kind of like think of it like seasons in football or basketball or something like that.
Right, and for the record to count, it's got to be a sum of money that was raised for one particular marathon. So all of you, it's not the aggregate total of all of your marathons. It's got to be for one.
So far we like over the last couple of years we've raised I think we calculated the other day, it's like £270,000, which is about $1/3 So we're back down to zero this year. However, this year we really think that it's going to be the year where we're going to get it all the way up to $2.9 million in one sitting. And I'm not the only.
Which is the record? Sorry for interrupting. I just want to be clear to everybody. The standing world record for the most money raised by running a marathon is $2.9 million.
Yeah.
Do we know who
I've actually met the guy who has that record.
Good.
Yeah,
Who?
he's a cool guy. He's a reverend, and he runs a charity over in the UK. And it was kind of this weird sort of meeting that we were having because he's like, I want you to break my record. But then it's like, but then if you break my record, I've got to break my record again. And he's like, his record hasn't been broken for like, I think it's over 10 years. And he's like, I want you to do it. But in another way, it's like, I don't want to run any more marathons. I'm so tired of them. Like, I'm in my 60s now. I'm bored of them. And I was like, Steve, you're going to have to do it.
Okay, is the record recognized by the Guinness Book?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
God.
Okay, hold on a second. I feel like I have to be the voice of reason over here. What kind of brain cancer do you have? I mean, is there a certain type of tumor it is? What's the cause? I'm trying to think. What's the where can people go donate? I mean, like, is there a cure for this? I mean, what stage of the grieving cycle are you in? I have like all these questions that I think we're just fast forwarding over.
Sure. Well, I think the biggest one there is how do people donate, and they don't. That's my unique thing. That's my sort of unique selling point. I get people to follow my accounts. If you go on to use the username The King of Chemo, all of the social media accounts I'm on there. And then when sponsors see, hey, this guy's got loads of followers, let's give him some money to advertise on his platform, and then the advertisement money, I just take that and throw it straight into the cancer research puddle. So it's like, how would I put it? It's like a pyramid scheme, except it's not a scam. Kind of like that.
I wouldn't promote it that way.
So you're trying to build up your socials to get branding deals and all that.
Yeah. No, we've done well so far. We've gotten support. I don't know. Do you guys have Gymshark over in the US?
Yeah.
Gymshark. I'm pretty sure My Protein is. They're the current biggest ones at the moment. They do 10,000 Great British pounds every month, which is I'd imagine it'd be like about 13,000 US dollars. And
now, does 100% of your brand deals go into the research stuff? 100% of all the Well, and not specifically cancer research. There's been previous ones where I did it for like a children's charity. Then there was another one for mental health. There was was definitely one other charity that we were doing. Oh yeah, sorry. No, Movember is what I'm thinking of, which is also a cancer research charity. But yeah, 100% of all of it goes to a charity anyway.
Okay.
But at the moment, we have the American Cancer Society has actually, for this year in particular, they're saying that it's all going to be going into the American Cancer Society. And one of the big things that I'm very excited about is they have not only, I thought that they'd announced me as an ambassador. They've announced me as one of their champions, which is like I wear this crown thing as a piss take because it's catchy and it's sort of visually someone would have a look at my profile and kind of think, who's this fucker wearing the crown? And then hear the story. It's like, oh, okay, he's not up his own hole as much as it would seem. But like same thing has happened with American Cancer Society, where it's like, yes, you are the champion of our charity cause. It's like, all right, I'll take that. I won't say no to that.
That's great. If you're donating 100% of all of the revenue that you're bringing in from your brand deals, from your donations, then like, what are you doing to feed yourself? Like, do you have a job?
No, not anymore. I used to be on what's called, welfare. That used to be what I was on. However, once I got the contract with My Protein, thankfully, someone I know, one of my family members, they were getting on to me. It was like, Iain, even if you are giving all of that to charity, because you are still in control of it, you have to come off. It's called universal credit over here. And then so I was kind of like, oh, God, how the fuck am I going to pay the rent? And I simply just put on a subscription list on my Instagram. And straight away, a lot of people were like subscribing to that. And now I have enough to get by. I need to ask them if they like kind of a few more members would get on, because currently it's like £1,000 a month, which is not really enough to push by, but I'm sure it will increase at some point. So I'm not like skint. I'm able to get by.
Scam. What a great English word. Well,
I'm from Ireland, you bastard.
There you go. I do follow you on Instagram. I just jumped on there. It's the Chemo King.
The king of chemo.
God
But
damn it.
I assure you, you are not the only person that has ever mixed it up. I've had many people that have tried to like the amount of cancellation things that we've had to try and add on to the channel for people trying to pretend to be me, which is so creepy.
Wow. Okay, so the King of Chemo.
Yeah.
And you'll know it's the right one because it's sitting at 2.6 million followers on Instagram. And the idea here is to gain as much social media following so that we can do more to help cancer research. Instagram is, I would assume, is your biggest page.
Nope, TikTok is the biggest one. I think that's at 4.8 million. And
There you
YouTube,
go.
I reckon some people would look at YouTube and think like, no, that's probably a fake account. But for some reason, YouTube isn't doing great. So YouTube is at 20,000, and then TikTok is at 5 million. So, but the King of Chemo, if you put that down, those are the usernames. Same Twitch, Twitter. Oh wait, no, what's it called now? X. But yeah, those are the big ones. The big thing that we're going to be doing in 2024 that's really going to start like getting a lot of attraction and hopefully even making like possibly a documentary that makes it to Netflix is we're going to be doing 7 marathons in 7 different continents on 7 different days. So we're going to be going to Antarctica, we're going to be going to Africa, North America, South America, all the way around the world in 7 days, doing 7 different marathons.
Wow, you're going to do them
We
on...
kind of think that's going to be like the final thing where it's like end of the last one is going to be when we're trying to accumulate all of the money together, and that's when we're going to really try and have the world record fucking smashed.
That's epic. And you're talking about 7 consecutive days on 7 different continents? I don't
Yeah,
even
I'm not
know.
looking forward to doing it.
I mean, never mind running the marathon. I don't even know if it's feasible to get to 7 different continents.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to do South America, then
Yeah.
Antarctica is pretty close to right there.
Right, okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah, so we start in Africa, we start in South Africa, go down to Antarctica. We start in Antarctica because obviously that's the one that's going to be the most affected by weather. So we
And
actually
travel.
start travel-wise. Travel is actually the only opportunity that we have where we're going to sleep. We're going to sleep on the plane. And
Wow.
then, the one exception. When we are in Istanbul, Istanbul is a city that is also Europe and Asia. So that's the one night of the 7 where we're going to be able to stay in a hotel. So
cool.
I'd imagine that's going to be like fucking holy, holy sight.
Cool, man. All right, well, let's let Scott ask
I think I just wanted to know, like, your backstory. Like, what kind of brain cancer was it, or what kind of tumor, so people know.
So it's called a glioblastoma or astrocytoma, depending on which department in oncology you're speaking to. And in terms of what caused it, don't have a fucking clue.
Don't have a clue. Then it sounds like, I mean, because there's like the 5 stages of grieving. Like, it seems like you're pretty much have the acceptance, but was there a point where you went through any of those? I mean, it seems like right off the bat,
Christ,
you're
no!
like,
I'm fucking still in denial. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm fucking zen and it's like, yes, I've gone through it all. No, I'm definitely still in the denial phase. I don't have symptoms, so it's difficult to try and get my head around, quite literally. But I think I've seen the opportunity that I was granted, and I'm just fucking grabbing that thing by the balls, and I'm just sort of keeping busy doing that. And involves a lot of being fit. So, yeah.
Are you
sort of
researching cures or anything like that? Or you get like, fuck, are you looking up at late at night? Like, is this research going to help ultimately find a cure for this, you think?
The way I've always thought about it is the longer that I can stay alive, the longer the opportunity is that some clever bastard is going to find out a way to actually help out with the a legitimate cure. Now, at the moment, there's loads of different sort of anecdotal medicines that are around, or sort of ways to live your life. And I try to adhere to quite a lot of that, because my sort of rule is, if it doesn't have side effects, or side effects that are like a positive thing, then I'll take the drug or I'll do the thing. So ice baths, lots of exercises, long-term fasting, turmeric, just ingesting turmeric, soursop. There's shitloads of stuff like that. And unless it has a side effect where, like turkey tail mushroom is one, and there's a side effect to it that some people get, like bad bowel disorders, like just fucking, feeling cramps and farts and that sort of thing. So that one is more kind of like, I won't try that one, but everything else I'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because I just turned 40, and I think at that turning 40 phase, it's like, wow, I'm 40. So you have like this existential like crisis, not really, but like you're thinking about life. What's the meaning of it? Like am I going to die soon? What's my life have meaning? You haven't thought about anything like that.
In that regard, yeah, I've definitely done that, because that's one of the reasons why I've sort of have this this huge drive. Like, I've often told people that it sounds like an absolute fucking mental thing to say, but cancer gave me a huge amount of clarity that I had never had, and a focus that I've never had before in my life, where it was just like, this is my goal. This is what I want to achieve. I don't really want to achieve anything else. Whereas like moving up through my 20s and through my 30s, I was working in a gym. I was doing I like working with kids, like teaching them basic sport movements, and it was fun. I liked my job. I still kind of do it in its own way, but I did start getting this like itch in the back of my mind where it's like, where is this going? Are you going to be doing this your whole life? This is like you're going to run out of steam with this fairly soon. And then the brain cancer came along, and I just kind of had the idea, the thought of it. And as soon as I thought of it, it was just like, do that. Fucking don't focus on anything else. That is the number one goal. Go for it. And it kind of reminded me a lot of, did you ever see that, the documentary about Dr. Dre, and it's the Defiant Ones?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dr. Dre is getting interviewed, and one of the things he says in it is like, oh yeah, as soon as I was a baby, like my first memories were music, and there was nothing else in my life. It was just music. I was just had the blinkers on, and it just he kind of felt sorry for people that didn't have that same sort of passion for something, whatever it may be. And I remember watching that for the first time and thinking, fuck, he's right. I don't know what I want to do with my life. I feel like I'm twiddling my feet in the paddle pool here. And then on came cancer, and now I'm Dr. Dre, basically.
All right, last question. I was talking to this guy who was a drug dealer, and he got diagnosed with something. He thought he was going to die, and he was the question was, I guess let me just ask you this: how much pussy are you getting for like sympathy puss? Zero. Yeah, nah, that is Hollywood bullshit. So I used to be like, doing all right, and then when I had cancer, it was like sort of, once I came off radiotherapy and I started looking normal, I was like, all right, I'm making a like dating profile here or whatever. Am I gonna announce I have cancer, or am I gonna not announce it? And then like kind of, because I like, I'm in my 30s now. I've dicked around enough that I don't really give a shit about like, just having a one night stand. I like a relationship. And so it was like, you're going to need to fucking tell them at some point. I'm pretty sure they're going to find out. And so it was like, do I tell them now? Do I not? And it was like, all right, I'm not going to tell them. And, lots of matches or whatever. And then, okay, I'm going to tell them, because matches, dates, meeting, and then the conversation would come on to cancer at like, date 2, date 3, whatever. And then it's like, hey, I just don't feel the spark is there anymore, or something like that. And I was like, yeah. And then like, they didn't want to say, hey, look, you're going to fucking die. I'm not getting love emotionally invested in you, because like, I'm going to cut you off now, because what am I going to do? Marry you, and in 6 years time, you die? I'm not getting involved in that, which is sensible. I mean, like it's horrific, but at the same time, it's like, that's life.
Time to become a slut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, my dog's literally named Kinky, so I think that says enough about who I am and what I'm about.
Yeah, you just got to get over that stupid. Man. All right, brother. Well, shit, dude. We're stoked to support the cause. Candidly, you know, I'm stoked that it was such a light lift to, you know, give somebody their fulfill their request. And you genuinely were by far the most compelling, the funniest, the most.
How many entries did you have?
Not that many.
Wow.
Not that many, and they're really you know, there was like the distant second was a guy who said, "Man, dude, I just got sober," and I'm just like, before I got sober, I went to a UFC event and like I just blew it. I acted like a schmuck and like whatever. I caused all these problems, and I want to like get it right, and you know. And I was kind of sympathetic because I'm supportive of sobriety and
you love the UFC.
And I love the UFC.
Yeah.
But that wasn't as meaningful.
I thought you were talking about yourself for a second there when you said I genuinely did. It was like,
no, but,
I see how you'd like sort of emulate with him.
Right, yeah. But this was just so much more meaningful.
For sure.
Okay, so everybody get on the King of Chemo, TikTok.
Yep.
Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube.
Yeah, the works.
OnlyFans.
Also, if any people, so like as I was saying, that's the most important thing is to get the numbers, which leads to the subscribers, and then I give all of the subscriber money straight in. So if you are poor, you can still absolutely support the channel. But if you're the kind of person who it's like, I don't have time to fucking flick through all that thing, I just want to give someone some money. If you go on to the American Cancer Society, their own website, we're going to be setting up the world record sort of money goal. And even if you're not able to pay onto that yourself, if you go on, you can kind of just see like there's going to be a thermometer showing like how close we are to breaking the world record. So there's options if you want to donate yourself or whatever you want. It's open.
Love it, man.
Cool.
Love it, dude. I'm a fan. You're fun to talk to. Like, you got a great cause. You make great videos, great production value in the stuff you do. So really, like, everybody check out the TikTok, the Instagram. Like, you're making great content.
Yeah,
And-
well, that's the goal. Thanks for helping out, man.
Yeah, let's all join together.
Get me on Jackass next time.
Yeah, we're gonna kick cancer square in the nuts.
That's right.
Fuck cancer.
Cancer.
Yeah.
Get someone. Well, actually, like this. Obviously, this is not related. But did you ever see that episode of South Park where they're kind of taking the piss out of Kurt Russell, and he's
No.
it's a really old one, so you wouldn't know. It's like Kurt Russell has. Oh, sorry, not Kurt Russell. Russell Crowe. And it's like, oh, I'm Russell Crowe. Oh, I'm going around the world fighting people and having fun or something. It's like, right, we're gonna beat up cancer, but we couldn't find cancer, so we're gonna beat up a cancer patient. And it's like Russell Crowe is fucking huge, and he like beats up this cancer patient who's like, you know, gaunt and the rest of it. He's like, ooh, like this. And so I was saying, like, if ever I get the opportunity to like come in front of Russell Crowe, be like, hey, look, man. Would you do what you did? Not you, but like, would you do what Kurt Russell did in or Russell fucking Crowe? Jesus Christ, how many times am I gonna get that wrong? Would you punch me in the stomach to try and fight cancer for South Park?
That would be a pretty funny bit for Jackass. We're like, we can fight cancer. So we're gonna beat up Iain.
Yeah, I think Russell Crowe would tell you to fuck off, though.
You'd have a better shot with Jackass, my man.
Yeah, there you go.
But I think we'd probably
Punch
have
cancer
trouble.
in the belly.
Yeah, we'd have trouble doing that too. But in any case, man, great to meet you.
Yeah,
and you know. Congrats on everything that you're doing, and it's evident that your passion and your purpose is very, very evident, and you know, it's great, man. So yeah, everybody follow the King of Chemo And
Yep, that's it.
much love to you, Ian. Thank you, brother.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Ian.
dude.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys, for having me on, and thanks to everybody who's watched this, and especially those if you're watching it on a phone, the person who's gone like, let me just have a little check and see the thing. Thank you to those people a lot. So, guys, yeah, you made a big difference. Hopefully, we'll be able to celebrate together at the end.
Hell yeah, man.
Thanks,
Right
Ian.
on, brother.
Sick.
Cool.
Thanks
Fuck
a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah, dudes. All right. I'm back in LA. I'm just gonna talk to my street team here for a sec. The guy holding the camera here, I want to be careful not to show things I shouldn't show. That's Vinny's getting married this weekend. Vinny will not be on the next episode of the Wild Ride podcast because hopefully he will have his face buried where it needs to be buried for as long as it needs to be buried there for his girl to arrive at her destination where she collects. Right. Lux and I, we call it collecting, you know. Now what do I want to talk about here? I've been scared of Reddit, okay? Because people are mean. Scared of Reddit. But I don't, like, what am I worried about, you know? I want to actually tell the street team, if you didn't already know, I shut down the Steve-O Raw membership thing. I just couldn't have the heart to be charging people when I wasn't even posting that much shit there. So I shut it down and just moved it over. It's now a Reddit subgroup. r/Steve-O Raw. It's Steve-O Raw, the Reddit group. And I put a little post there with at the bottom if you've got a link to my gnarly comedy special, 100% for free. If you haven't seen it, please check that out. I'm proud of it. And if you see gnarly, you think, wow, this was 5 years ago? Damn, and the bucket list was last year? Bucket list must be way sicker. Maybe I'll check out the bucket list. It's at steveo.com. So yeah, that's all I got for you today. That was an aggressive episode. Let's all wish Vinny good luck. You took it like a champ today, Vinny.
I did.
Yeah.
I was happy with it, though.
Yeah. You. I mean, dude, we put it all out there.
Yeah.
We didn't hold any punches. We were aggressive. All right, everybody. I love you.